Now on KGW News at noon, it is a day of remembrance and reflection in the United States. We take a look at Memorial Day celebrations. Plus, it is the unofficial start to summer. What you should look out for on the road and also in homes to keep you and your loved ones safe. And 5 years after George Floyd died, Portlanders demonstrate returned to the bridge where they once lied down and marked the day in a new way. Your News at Noon starts right now. Thank you for joining us at noon. I'm China Green. We start with Memorial Day ceremonies both locally and nationally. President Donald Trump laid a wreath this morning at the tomb of the unknown soldier in Arlington, Virginia. He was joined by Vice President J.D. Vance and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
For the families of the fallen, you feel the absence of your heroes every day in the family. These are great families.
The event was also a commemoration of the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army. And here in Oregon, the Department of Veterans Affairs honors the day at the Oregon World War II Memorial. This year's event falls on the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II. The site honors the more than 3,700 Oregonians who lost their lives during that great war. The department hopes to bring together Oregonians to remember and reflect on the sacrifices of the fallen soldiers. And the city of Tualatin celebrating the day with the opening of its new Veterans Plaza. The space is designed as a place of peaceful reflection, featuring native plants, stone elements, and art sculptures. Community members gathered today for the ribbon cutting ceremony.
It's located centrally in Tualatin, near the downtown core, which is great. It really gives an opportunity for people to easily access it. It's right off I-5, and it really is the vision of the community. It's called Veterans Plaza, so it's not necessarily about one war or one conflict. It's about remembering and honoring all veterans across the United States.
The plaza came together after 5 years of planning and construction. And a reminder for commuters about TriMet's Memorial Day schedule. Today, all buses and MAX trains will run on Sunday schedules. There's also no West service, and Portland Streetcar will run on its Saturday schedule. Headed to the weather deck, where we'll find meteorologist Rod Hill. The sun's out on your head right now, sir.
I was going to ask you if you can tell I'm beaming with sunshine.
Yes, you can.
It feels good. Good afternoon to you on this Memorial Day. We're up here on the weather deck, brought to you by Rick's Custom Fencing and Decking. It is definitely kind of a broken thin layer of flattening cumulus clouds. And as you look at the sky this afternoon, notice how the clouds are kind of thin. You can see them because they're individual. And the fact that they're not really building upward, if you will, means we are stabilizing. And the chance of scattered spotty showers will become less and less as we march through the afternoon. Now, here is Doppler radar right now. This is the last 3 hours of imagery. And mostly we're seeing showers, not entirely, but mostly we're seeing showers scattered over the Coast Range, the Cascades, and the hills up around Longview and up to the north. I think we're a few hours away from the radar just being completely clean, meaning no precip. And for most of us, this will be a rain-free afternoon. Take a look at some of our cameras. It was a wet morning at the coast. All areas were socked in. It was raining at least lightly for several hours. Chinook Winds Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City now showing some blue sky in 56. Here's the downtown look at Portland from our Rose City camera across the Willamette River, and we're up into the 60s. There's our temperature of 66. So I have upped today's high to at least 70. Here's the day planner. It's going to be warmer than what I was thinking it would be. I didn't think it would be so rapid of us to break out of the clouds from this morning, but that is happening. So 70 or better at 4 o'clock, and then a nice dry evening for you, 66. Again, still a few lingering spotty showers out there, but for the most part, 90% of us probably will not see any more rain on this Memorial Day. So your plans overall look to be fine for this afternoon. Back to you.
Thank you, Rod. After Memorial Day, things tend to get busier and more dangerous on the roads. AAA expects nearly 500,000 Oregonians to travel this summer. All that congestion can lead to more crashes, more fatalities. In just over a week, ODOT says crew members have been hurt in crashes across the state. These crashes primarily happen when other drivers failed to slow down or weren't paying attention behind the wheel. And throughout the summer, ODOT is urging people to use Trip Check to see up-to-date road conditions. Leave early to give yourself much more time to reach your destination. And instead of driving alone, they say it's a good idea to use public transit or carpool. And always silence your phone and keep your eyes on the road. And as temperatures rise, the family has an important warning after their 4-year-old survived falling out of a second-story window in Estacada. They want others to know the unexpected hazard of open windows as more people let that fresh air in. KGW's Kyla Boshi has more.
I'm a little fast kid.
There's no slowing down Tate McDonald, not even a broken leg, after falling out of a second-story window at his family's Estacada home.
Did you ever think you'd fall out of a window?
No.
It happened 2 weeks ago. His family had just moved in. Tate's dad was assembling a bed frame nearby when, well, I'll let Tate explain.
I couldn't find a place to sit, no chairs.
He fell back through the screen and out the window.
That's why I sitted right there and then it broke down. Then I fall down and then I went to the hospital.
The 4-year-old suffered a broken femur or thigh bone and wears a brace while he heals.
Well, it's kind of a cast, but it's not a cast.
Nationwide, nearly 3,300 kids younger than 6 fall from windows each year. These tumbles can cause serious injuries and, in rare cases, death.
Never something we would have even thought about. We've had 2-story houses before. Just didn't cross our mind.
To prevent falls, parents can install window guards or window stops. These safety devices are fairly inexpensive and easy to install.
All it does is just keep the window from going any further than about 4 inches.
It was a scary accident and an eye-opener for this family.
I said to other kids, be careful.
Now they're hoping to spread the word about the danger of open windows and the risk they pose to little ones.
Oh, no.
Kyla Boshi, KGW News.
A teenager is missing after he disappeared swimming in the ocean near Long Beach, Washington. He was swimming with 2 adults just before sunset on Friday, when officials say they ran into some sort of trouble in the water. The Coast Guard rescued both adults but couldn't find the teen and have suspended the search. Now his hometown of Northport, Washington is showing their support for the 2 families affected.
It's just like any other town, a little town, you know, like they have their kids and there's a lot of people that have lived here for lots of years, you know.
Members of the community say that while the town is small, they're big in support. They're offering whatever help they can to the families of the missing team and the member in the hospital. Yesterday marked 5 years since the death of George Floyd, and events took place across the country. Here in Portland, demonstrators took over the Burnside Bridge on Saturday. Organizers say that they were mirroring a moment when, during the Black Lives Matter protests in 2020, thousands of people laid down on the bridge in tribute to Floyd. But this time they stood in a circle, silent for 9 minutes and 29 seconds, the same amount of time that the police knelt on George Floyd's neck that led to his death. Protesters also marched peacefully through the streets of Portland.
This is the time. There's too much chaos and division and violence happening in our country right now, and it's time for more bridges.
Regardless of color, regardless of ideology, there was a common recognition that we needed to address our history and the violence and oppression of Black and brown bodies.
Demonstrators hope to reignite conversation about racial justice and accountability. President Donald Trump has backed off his threat to impose a 50% tariff on the European Union. This follows the president's controversial commencement address at West Point. NBC's Garrett Haig reports.
It's another tariff reversal from President Trump, announcing his 50% tariff on the EU will be delayed by a month from June 1st to July 9th. After his phone call with the European Commission president, whom he says asked him for an extension.
I agreed to do that, and that she said we will rapidly get together and see if we can work something out.
The announcement coming just 2 days after President Trump threatened that new import tax. The president also taking aim at Apple, threatening to impose a 25% tariff on iPhones, urging the company to shift production to the U.S. Analysts say U.S.-made iPhones could cost $1,500 to $3,500. far higher than current prices, and moving production to this country would take years. And the president acknowledging Sunday that even his most punishing tariffs won't bring back all types of manufacturing once done in the U.S.
I'm not looking to make T-shirts, to be honest. I'm not looking to make socks. We can do that very well at other locations. We are looking to do chips and computers and lots of other things.
It all follows the president's controversial commencement address at West Point, delivering a politically charged speech to an apolitical audience. The president boasted about his administration's effort to end diversity programs, reshaping the military to reflect his worldview.
The job of the U.S. Armed Forces is not to host drag shows, to transform foreign cultures, but to spread democracy to everybody around the world at the point of a gun. The military's job is to dominate any foe and annihilate any threat to America.
And mused about marriage while discussing a real estate developer.
He ended up getting a divorce, found a new wife. Could you say a trophy wife? I guess we can say a trophy wife. It didn't work out too well.